For 20 years, the people of the valley lived safely inside the walls of their world. But one young man discovered a truth that would change his life forever. The safest place can sometimes become the most dangerous prison. Orun had everything he needed: food, shelter, familiar faces, and a life without great danger. Every morning looked like the morning before it, and strangely, everyone believed that was happiness. Orun worked the same field, ate at the same table, walked the same road, and slept beneath the same roof. He never complained, yet somewhere deep inside him, a quiet question had begun to grow. Beyond the valley stood a mountain no villager dared to cross. Legends said that beyond it lay a world filled with danger. But whenever Orun looked at that mountain, he felt something stronger than fear: curiosity. That night, Orun asked himself, "If I never leave this valley, how will I ever know what I am capable of?" The question frightened him, but it would not leave him. Orun went to Orun, the oldest man in the valley. Orun had crossed the mountains many years ago. Orun asked him, "What is waiting beyond them?" Orun smiled and answered, "I cannot tell you what waits beyond the mountain, but I can tell you this: the person you could become is waiting there." Orun lowered his eyes. "What if I fail?" Orun replied, "Then you will return with knowledge. But if you never go, you will spend your whole life wondering." That evening, Orun stood between two worlds. Behind him was comfort. Before him was uncertainty. For the first time in his life, he understood that comfort had a price. At sunrise, Orun walked through the valley gate. He did not know where the road would lead. He only knew that staying had become more frightening than leaving. The first steps were the hardest. Every sound seemed dangerous. Every shadow looked like a warning. Fear whispered that he should turn around. Before long, a storm arrived. Orun searched for shelter, trembling beneath the rain. His old life suddenly seemed perfect. For one moment, he wanted nothing more than to go home. He found a cave and built a small fire. The warmth felt wonderful. The darkness outside disappeared, and once again, Orun felt safe. The cave reminded him of home: warmth, safety, silence. Perhaps he could stay here. Perhaps he had already gone far enough. Then he remembered Orun's words: "The person you could become is waiting beyond the mountain." Orun opened his eyes. The fire was warm, but his dream was becoming cold. Orun stood up. He left the warmth behind. One step, then another. Fear remained beside him, but now courage was walking beside it. The mountain did not become easier. Orun simply became stronger. Every difficult step taught him something his comfortable life never could. Then he fell. Pain shot through his hands. He stared at the ground and whispered, "Maybe I am not strong enough." But then he realized something. Strength was not the absence of falling. Strength was choosing to stand again. At last, Orun reached the summit. Below him were the clouds. Behind him was the valley. And before him was a world he had never imagined. Orun finally understood. The mountain had never been the true obstacle. The real obstacle had always been the invisible wall he had built inside his own mind. He had spent years believing that safety meant happiness. Now he understood that comfort could protect a person from pain, but it could also protect them from growth. Ara did not return immediately. There was still more to learn, more roads to walk, and more fears to face. Leaving his comfort zone had not ended his journey. It had finally begun it. Years passed. Ara learned skills he never knew existed. He met people from distant lands. He failed many times, but every failure made his world larger. One evening, Ara returned to the valley. The same mountains surrounded it. The same houses stood beneath them. But Ara was no longer the same young man who had once feared leaving.
Orun looked at him and smiled.
"So," he said, "did you find what was waiting beyond the mountain?" Ara smiled and answered, "I found myself." Orun nodded. "Remember this, Ara. Comfort is a beautiful place to rest, but it is a terrible place to build your entire life." Ara began teaching the younger villagers what he had learned. He told them that fear was not always a sign to stop. Sometimes fear was simply the sign that something important waited ahead. One by one, the young villagers began taking their own first steps. The mountain that had once represented fear became a symbol of possibility. And so the people remembered Ara's greatest lesson. Your comfort zone may feel like a home, but your potential lies beyond its walls. Do not wait until fear disappears. Take the first step while you are afraid, because the life you dream about is often waiting just beyond the place you are afraid to leave.